Since the dawn of man, we have been discontent with what we know, fascinated by what we suspect, inspired by what we believe, and terrified by what lies beyond.
Letty, use the correct change next time.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Hey kid, can't you read? No loud music. Use headphones or turn it off.
I ain't hurting nobody. Why can't you just leave me alone?
No, you're not hurting nobody. Look, let me know if my reading bothers you. I'll try to hold it down. Excuse me, ma'am. You know you don't have to sit there.
Excuse me?
I said you don't have to.
I heard what you said. Now, I'll sit wherever I please. And I please to sit right here in this wide seat. See, I can put my feet up. You know, what? You've been living up on the rock for the last 50 years. You know, how you gonna tell me where I can sit, can't sit, should sit?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean any...
What? No harm? Disrespect? You know what? By the look on your face, I believe you. You're not evil. You just ain't all that smart, no.
Well, I'm not so sure that's a nice thing to say. I was just trying to help.
I remember when we had to sit back here at the back of the bus. You know, and it hadn't been all that long either. You know, I was a teenager when Rosa Parks changed everything. I was walking home from school one day when I heard it on the news. It was a Thursday. Yeah, it was a Thursday because my teacher, Miss Finch, used to give us a homework on Thursdays. That's so's we have an extra day just to get it done.
I remember I had to write a report on her in high school. Rosa Parks, that is, not Miss Finch. Some of my friends blew it off to go to Woodstock that weekend. I remember that, but not me. I stayed home and I completed that report. I missed Woodstock. Janis Joplin, Joe Cocker, The Who, Jimi Hendrix, Jimi freaking Hendrix.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It wasn't your fault. I could have written the report the next weekend. Woodstock. It's one of those things that rolls around once in a lifetime. It's not the only day I had a misplaced sense of duty either. I remember the day my father died. My sister called me at work and told me. I finished out the workday. I could have been on a plane home, but I had to finish the workday first. Who does that?
Apparently you...
And 9/11, do you remember where you were that morning?
Yes, I was...
Sure you do. Who doesn't? I remember I was at work. My entire department abandoned their desks and huddled around a little TV in the break room. But not me, no. I stayed at my desk and I worked that day. And you think the company noticed?
Apparently
Why,
they...
no. A few years later, they laid me off. Nobody cared about my work ethic. They couldn't have cared less.
You know what? This is my stop. I got to go.
Well, have a nice day.
It's Nadine.
Have a nice day, Nadine. I'm Norman, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Norman, and you have a good day, too. For goodness sakes, earn some self-respect, why don't you? And take control of your life. Can you do that for me? Take care now, you hear?
Hi, I'm Melinda. Are you going as far as 8th Street?
I'm Norman, 3rd Street. Why?
I'm just curious, I guess. I mean, I hate riding the bus.
Get a car.
I mean, I would hate that too. It's not so much the riding the bus thing as it's just the whole getting up and going to work thing.
Hate your job?
No, it's not so much the job either. It's the whole pointlessness of it all. I mean, I go to school, get good grades, so I can get a good job, right? I get a good job, work really hard, get promotions, get raises so I can have a good life. But, I mean, before I know it, I'm your age, and I mean, life is just over.
Well, first of all, I appreciate the insinuation that life is over at my age. That really made my day. But I have to disagree with you about work. I used to be just like you. I hated my job. I despised it. But I made lifelong friends on the job. As much as I fussed and carried on about it, there was always some purpose, somewhere to go, some friends, something to do. But I was blind to that. All I dreamed about was retirement, doing whatever I pleased whenever I pleased. And then the time came and I was free. And it was great for a month or two. Then I got tired of trying to fill my days with hobbies, TV, games, things concocted for the sole purpose of killing time. Finally, I got off my duff and found a new job. Today's my first day. Do you have any idea what you'd do with yourself if you didn't have a job?
Well, I mean,
That's what I thought. You know, if you hate your job, find one you like, or at least hate less. And for heaven's sake, don't make it all about the money.
Have a nice first day at work, Mr. Wheeler.
How did you know my last name?
I know pretty much everything, Mr. Wheeler. For instance, I know that you have been cheating yourself and others.
I don't cheat. Not on my taxes, not on my wife, not anything. I remember back in the 80s, I actually helped the IRS when they audited me.
I've seen you cheat yourself twice already today. Did you know that Nadine Claremont's parents were divorced in 1957? You would think that the Rosa Parks incident would solidify her family. But while her mother saw her as a vanguard, the spearhead of a great movement,
And rightly so.
her father saw her as a dangerous radical, the beginning of an era of strife.
That's hard to believe.
People just fear change, Mr. Wheeler. Even those who need it most.
How do you know all this?
Because she told me, and I listened. You don't listen, Mr. Wheeler. If you did, you remember Melinda Harper, the young woman you spoke to just now?
Sure.
Well, Melinda hates going to work because she associates work with her father. You see, her father was never there for her. He was always working, sun up to sundown. He only saw her on the weekends, and very little even then. A few years ago, he was sent to prison. Seems all those years were spent running a huge Ponzi scheme. Maybe you heard about it in the news.
How was I to know?
Listen, Norman. I get it. Everyone is the star of their own little play. And I'm sure yours is very interesting. But so is everyone else's.
Well, there's nothing I can do now.
Would you like another shot at it, Mr. Wheeler?
You mean start the day over? Come on, I saw that movie, but it's just a movie. You froze time. What are you? Some sort of genie? A fairy? An angel?
Now that's a story for another day, Mr. Wheeler. That is, if you're willing to listen. Laddie, use the correct change next time.
Yes, sir. Sorry. Hey, who's that you're listening to?
Oh, you wouldn't be interested.
Try me.
It's a freestyle hip-hop artist named Moondog Matinee. I'm a music major at Juilliard. I'm working on a paper comparing modern pop music to classical.
Oh, really? I used to be in a band once, but that's a long story. Tell me about your paper.
Well, you'd be surprised at how similar the two really are. I mean, when it comes down to it, all music can be boiled down to a few basic components. There's meter and tempo and rhythm and so much more.
Ah, so if you have those three components, you've got music.
Yep, just a few other things, and there you go, you got music.
Oh, that's great. How does your paper compare